Welcome back. Here we go. Man, it feels like it's been a long time since I've had this little setup, man. I don't know why it feels like a while. Here we go. So today we are going to talk about higher power and my relation to it. Man, that's always been a touchy, not really touchy, I guess a tough subject for me. You know what I mean? It's always been a tough subject for me to talk about, to feel, to actually imagine. When I was a kid, I was brought up Catholic, went to catechism, did my first Holy Communion, and I went to church up to a certain age. When I got to a certain age, I was like, screw that. Also, before I keep going, this is just my experience, my feelings, and I guess my overall thoughts on the whole higher power situation. I know it's very meaningful and a way of life for people. I get it, man. I get it. So, yeah, brought up as a kid, right? Catholic. Or, I mean, brought up Catholic as a kid. So, yeah, in and out of church and did all that. I'm guessing maybe to like the fifth grade time frame. And then after that, I was over it, man. I was over it. And then since then, all the way up until I guess my first stint in jail, I couldn't leave jail. I was stressing out. Everybody was stressing out. So, what do? I pick up the Bible. And I can honestly say the Bible got me through that situation. In regards to the Bible, I do like reading Psalms, um, and I think Proverbs. That's another thing that comes to my head. So I guess I could say the only time I do rely on that, on the Bible, on a higher power, if you will, is when I'm in the most, when I need it the most, right? When I need something greater than myself. It's kind of weird, and I'm not ashamed to say it, man. That's just how it is with me. When everything's going well, I really don't. I mean, honestly, I don't pray. I don't pray. I don't do it for any specific reason. It's just something I don't do. I don't make the time to do it. There's nothing wrong with it if I decided to pray. Maybe if I did it more, then I'll probably see more benefits from it. But it's just something I didn't do. But yeah, in regards to prayer, when I was in rehab, I tend to pray a lot before I go to bed. And that usually helped. When I was in rehab, they took us to AA. At the end of a meeting, right, everyone gathers in a circle or whatever, holds hands, and somebody picks the prayer. The majority of the time, they said the Serenity Prayer. I love that prayer. Out of all the prayers in the world, I love the Serenity Prayer. It just makes me feel good. I love every single word. I love the meaning behind it. That's probably my favorite prayer. If I had to get a tattoo with a prayer on it, it would be the Serenity Prayer. And it's cool, you know? It's a great prayer, man. So, I tend to say that a lot because when I was in rehab, man, my first 30 days, I could honestly say that Serenity Prayer got me to the 30 days, as well as other stuff. But for me, I was willing to submit, man. I had nowhere to go, so I decided to give rehab another shot. Thankfully, I was there for 4 months. And thankfully, I ran into that Serenity Prayer, man. I felt it. I could honestly say I felt it, man. Within each prayer, it hit me, man. And I meant every single word of it, especially at that time. You know, I was I was in the most need of hope, direction for sure, man. I always took the reins, right? I always took the reins in my life, you know. It was so hard to give up my will to something, to give up everything for something that's greater than myself. I guess the main issue for me is if I can't see it, I just don't make time for it. I'm not saying it's there. It's just kind of hard for the way my head works. If I don't see it, it's just hard for me to, I guess, pay any attention to it. Like I said, I don't mean to insult anybody. This is just what's going on up here. I've never spoke on this on the channel, so random video, and this is how it's going. And if you feel some type of way about it, I apologize. Like, honestly, I know it's a serious subject. So also in regards to rehab, throughout my stay, maybe halfway through my stay, somebody started a like a Bible club, a Bible, I guess a Bible club. One day out of the week, I think it was, we met in one of the empty rooms. It was voluntary, so whoever wanted to attend, there were Bibles there, and somebody would, one of the rehab clients would hold a meeting. You know, they would read a certain part, and we would all talk about it, how we could relate to it. I went in there, man, just because it was like towards the end of the day. I think like 7:30, something like that. You know, I was probably in my head at that time, per usual. So I went in there, sat down with my roommate, my rehab roommate. You know, I just sat and listened, man. You know, and they were having some deep conversations. They were really dissecting the Bible. They knew a lot about the Bible. I didn't. I could probably get you to Psalms and Proverbs too, but other than that, I don't. I'm useless when it comes to that, man. So everyone went around the room. There was a few people there, like 5, 6 people there. It came to me, man, and I was speechless. You know, everyone was sharing their opinion on this certain subject, and that subject at that time was nothing I could relate to. I don't remember what it was about. Before I said anything stupid, I just passed. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I passed. Everyone was, I guess, kind of shocked. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, that's just how it was, man. And I had a pretty good rapport with my roommate. And so he kind of laughed, chuckled. He's like, don't worry about it, bro. So he's like, just kick back, listen. I was like, absolutely, man. And so that was that. And I guess you really have to believe, you know, and stuff like that. You know, like everyone has their own opinion about what heaven looks like, what hell looks like. You know, a lot of people look up in the clouds, you know, they think when you pass away, you go to the somewhere up there, right? I don't know what happens, you know, when we pass, you know. Like, I don't know, so I'm not going to waste any energy on it. While I'm here on this earth, all I'm going to focus on, all I can focus on, is myself and my next move, because I effed off the majority of my life, and I'm here trying to put the puzzle pieces back together in a proper manner, right? I'm not trying to put a square in a hole and hammer it. I am trying to make the best decision every day. So I guess that's where I stand on this, man. I know it's serious. I hope I didn't offend anybody. This is probably laughable to a lot of people, but I just wanted to get this out there. Huge shout out to the Serenity Prayer. I love it, man. I think, actually, I'm not going to make any commitments. You know, it sounds good at the time. I was going to say, I'm going to try and say it every night, but at the end of the day, I'm too tired, and I will probably forget. So I don't want to lie, especially when it comes to this. So I'm just gonna forget that happened. Thanks for listening.